You don't need to overhaul your entire life to reduce your risk of colorectal cancer. Just 6 key changes can make all the difference. Tip 6. Eat more fiber, but not just any fiber. You've probably heard that fiber is good for you. But when it comes to colorectal cancer, it's not just about getting any type of fiber. The kind of fiber you eat actually matters a lot. I used to think all fibers were basically the same, but that's not the case at all. What you need to focus on is soluble fiber, which is the type found in foods like oats, beans, apples, and other fruits and vegetables. Here's why soluble fiber is so important. First, it helps to balance the bacteria in your gut, which is crucial for keeping your digestive system healthy. If your gut bacteria are out of whack, it can lead to inflammation, and inflammation is a major player in the development of cancers, including colorectal cancer. Soluble fiber works like a buffer, helping to regulate this process and reduce the kind of chronic inflammation that can lead to cancerous changes in your cells. But there's more to it than just balancing your gut. Soluble fiber also promotes the production of short-chain fatty acids, which is something most people don't talk about but is really important. These fatty acids, like butyrate, have been shown in studies to actually protect against the growth of cancerous cells in the colon. Essentially, when you eat foods rich in soluble fiber, your body breaks them down into these beneficial acids that help safeguard your colon. It's like giving your digestive system a little army to help fight off potential threats. Another thing to remember is that soluble fiber isn't just good for preventing colorectal cancer. It also has a ton of other health benefits. It can help lower your cholesterol levels and even regulate your blood sugar. So, by making an effort to eat more fiber-rich foods like beans, apples, and oats, you're not just protecting your colon, you're supporting your overall health. I know sometimes people think eating more fiber sounds boring or difficult, but it really doesn't have to be. You can easily get more soluble fiber into your diet by adding things like lentils to soups, having a bowl of oatmeal in the morning, or snacking on fruits like apples. These are small changes that don't require a major overhaul of your eating habits, but can make a big difference. Tip 5. Limit red and processed meats. We've all heard that too much red meat isn't good for you. But when it comes to colorectal cancer, it's not just about cutting out red meat completely. The trick is limiting it and balancing it with healthier alternatives. Studies have shown that diets high in red meat and processed meats like bacon or sausage are linked to an increased risk of colorectal cancer. But don't panic. This doesn't mean you have to give up your favorite foods entirely. The reason red and processed meats are risky is due to the chemicals formed during cooking, especially at high temperatures. These chemicals, known as heterocyclic amines, or HCAs, and polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, or PAHs, can be carcinogenic, meaning they increase the risk of cancer. But here's where it gets interesting. Pairing these meats with antioxidant-rich vegetables can actually help neutralize some of those harmful chemicals. So, if you're grilling a steak, throw some colorful veggies like bell peppers or spinach on the side. The antioxidants in these foods help combat the negative effects of those carcinogens, providing a sort of protective layer for your cells. That said, cutting back on red meat and processed meats isn't about deprivation. It's more about balance and finding healthier alternatives. Incorporating more plant-based proteins like lentils, nuts, and seeds into your meals can provide the same satisfaction and nutritional benefits without the added cancer risk. These plant-based proteins are packed with nutrients and fiber, making them an excellent substitute for meats. Plus, they're incredibly versatile. You can toss them in salads, stir-fries, or even blend them into smoothies. So while you don't have to quit red meat altogether, it's a smart move to cut back and replace some of it with more plant-based options. Over time, your body will thank you for making this small but impactful change. Tip 4. Get moving daily. You know how we're always being told to stay active for better health? Well, it turns out that physical activity isn't just good for keeping your weight in check or improving your mood. It's also a powerful tool for preventing cancer, including colorectal cancer. It's easy to overlook exercise as a way to reduce cancer risk, but when we think about cancer prevention, we often focus more on diet or genetics. But staying active has a huge impact on our body's ability to stay healthy and fight off disease. When you exercise regularly, you're doing more than just burning calories or building muscle. Physical activity helps to improve your digestion, which is really important for your colon health. When your digestion is working smoothly, waste moves through your system more efficiently, and this can help prevent the buildup of harmful toxins in your colon that could potentially lead to cancer. Another thing that happens when you exercise is your hormone levels get regulated, especially insulin. High insulin levels over time have been linked to an increased risk of several cancers, including colorectal cancer. Regular exercise helps keep insulin levels in check, which is another way it protects you from cancer. What's interesting is that new research is showing that certain types of exercise, like high-intensity interval training, or HIIT, might be even more effective at reducing cancer risk. HIIT involves short bursts of intense exercise followed by rest or lower-intensity exercise, and it has been shown to reduce inflammation in the body. Inflammation is one of the factors that can lead to cancerous changes in cells, so keeping it under control is a big deal. HIIT also helps improve insulin sensitivity, meaning your body can manage blood sugar levels more efficiently, which lowers cancer risk. The best part about all of this is that you don't need to train like an athlete to see the benefits. Even moderate daily activity like walking, swimming, or cycling can make a difference. The key is to be consistent and keep moving every day. So whether you like going to the gym, hiking, or even just taking a brisk walk around your neighborhood, know that you're doing something powerful for your health, and it's more than worth the effort. Tip number 3, know your family history. When it comes to colorectal cancer, your family history plays a much bigger role than you might think. The thing is, many people don't actually know the details of their family's medical history, especially when it comes to cancer. It can feel awkward to bring up in conversation, but it's really important to talk to your family about this, especially if anyone has had colorectal cancer or other cancers. These conversations can help you figure out if you're at a higher risk and whether you might need to start screening earlier than the general guidelines suggest. Having a family history of colorectal cancer doesn't mean you're destined to get it, but it does mean that your chances are higher. If close relatives like your parents, siblings, or even grandparents have had colorectal cancer, it's a signal that you should be extra vigilant about getting screened. Screening helps catch cancer early, often before it even becomes a serious issue. And when it comes to colorectal cancer, early detection is key because the earlier it's found, the easier it is to treat. What's great is that genetic testing is becoming more common and affordable. If you're unsure about your risk, or if you have a complicated family history, genetic testing can give you more specific information about whether you have certain genetic mutations that could increase your risk for colorectal cancer. The results of these tests don't just tell you about your cancer risk, but they can also guide you on what lifestyle changes might help lower your risk based on your genetic profile. In short, knowing your family history and considering genetic testing could give you a huge advantage when it comes to preventing colorectal cancer. It's all about being proactive and taking the steps that are right for you based on your unique situation. Tip number 2, prioritize gut health and probiotics. I've been reading a lot about gut health recently, and it's amazing how much it affects most everything in our bodies, including the risk of colorectal cancer. Most of us don't think about our gut microbiome, but it's basically this huge ecosystem of bacteria living inside our digestive system. Some bacteria are good for you, and some aren't so good. And the balance between the two can really influence your overall health, including your cancer risk. One of the earliest ways to keep your gut microbiome healthy is by eating probiotic-rich foods. Probiotics are basically good bacteria that help maintain that healthy balance in your gut. You can find them in fermented foods like yogurt, kefir, sauerkraut, kimchi, and even in certain types of pickles. When you eat these foods regularly, you're introducing beneficial bacteria into your gut, which can improve digestion, boost your immune system, and help protect your colon from potentially cancerous changes. It's not just about general gut health either. What's really interesting is the specific strains of probiotic bacteria, like lactobacillus, have actually been shown to reduce the growth of colorectal cancer cells in lab studies. This isn't just some vague health trend. There's real scientific evidence suggesting that consuming probiotics can be a legitimate way to lower your risk of colorectal cancer. These good bacteria help reduce inflammation in your gut, and since chronic inflammation is a major factor in the development of many cancers, keeping it under control is super important. The great thing about probiotics is that they're easy to incorporate into your diet. You don't need to make huge changes. Just add a serving of yogurt or a spoonful of sauerkraut to your meals a few times a week. Even better, these foods don't just support your gut health. They offer a ton of other health benefits too, like improving digestion, boosting mood, and strengthening your immune system. If you're not a fan of fermented foods, there are also probiotic supplements available. Just make sure to look for ones that have live and active cultures. But honestly, if you can get your probiotics from real food, that's probably the best way to go since it comes with other nutrients as well. Prioritizing gut health might not be the first thing you think of when it comes to cancer prevention, but it's an easy, effective step you can take to protect yourself. Tip number 1, regular screenings. I can't stress enough how important regular screenings are when it comes to preventing colorectal cancer. The thing with colorectal cancer is that it often develops slowly, and by the time you notice symptoms, it could already be in a more advanced stage. That's why screening is such a powerful tool. It can catch the cancer early when it's much easier to treat, or even before it becomes cancer. The American Cancer Society recommends that adults with an average risk of colorectal cancer start getting screened at age 45. If you're at higher risk, maybe because of family history or other factors, you might need to start even earlier. The screening process can feel a little intimidating, but it's honestly one of the best things you can do for your health. The most common screening method is a colonoscopy, which can not only detect cancer early, but also prevent it by finding and removing polyps before they turn into cancer. What's really exciting is that there are now less invasive screening options available. For example, stool-based DNA tests can detect changes in your colon long before cancer develops, and you can do these tests right at home. They look for traces of DNA that are linked to colorectal cancer and polyps, which means they can give you a heads up before anything serious happens. These new methods are great for people who might be hesitant about more invasive procedures, but still want to stay on top of their health. No matter which screening method you choose, the important thing is to get screened regularly. Colorectal cancer is one of those diseases where early detection makes a huge difference in outcomes. By catching it early, or even stopping it before it starts, you're giving yourself the best possible chance to stay healthy. So let's recap. Eat more of the right kinds of fiber, cut back on red and processed meats, stay active, know your family history, prioritize gut health, and, most importantly, make sure to schedule regular screenings. Remember, these steps aren't just about reducing cancer risk. They're about taking charge of your health in the most impactful way. Thanks for watching.